You just met them. They said their name 10 seconds ago, and it's already gone. Not because you weren't listening. You were nodding, smiling, fully there in the moment. But somewhere between hearing it and actually needing it, the name just vanished. And now you're doing that awkward hover, hoping they say it again first, praying they don't notice you have nothing. Maybe this happens every single time. You meet someone, shake their hand, and 30 seconds later, you're already panicking. Not about the conversation, but about the fact that you have literally nothing to call them if you need to. You laugh it off. Sorry, what was your name again? But some part of you quietly wonders if something's wrong with your memory. Because you remember what they were wearing, you remember the joke they made, just not the one thing they actually told you on purpose. Here's what people assume. A bad memory for names means a bad memory, period. That's the misconception. Names aren't stored or retrieved the same way other memories are. This isn't a memory problem, it's an encoding problem. In the exact second someone says their name, your brain is usually busy doing something else entirely, managing the interaction, not filing away the one detail you'll actually need later. This shows up in two familiar shapes. The social multitasker is already planning what to say next while the other person is still talking. So the name gets heard but never actually processed. It goes in one ear and straight back out, because attention was somewhere else the entire time. The over-politer is doing the opposite, fully present, nodding, smiling, working hard to seem warm and engaged. But all that effort goes into managing how they're coming across, not into the one piece of information they'll actually need in 5 minutes. Both types walk away thinking they weren't paying attention. In reality, they were paying plenty, just to the wrong thing. Attention was spent on the interaction itself instead of on the one name sitting right in the middle of it. Which one's you? The social multitasker, already three thoughts ahead? Or the over-politer, so busy being warm you missed the name entirely? Drop it below. Picture someone we'll call Hayden. At every work event, he's the guy who remembers your dog's name, your last vacation, the deadline you're stressed about. People assume he has a great memory. He doesn't tell them the truth that he forgets almost every name he's given in the first 10 seconds of meeting someone. Tonight, it catches up to him. His manager walks over with a new client, the one Hayden's been prepping for all week, and says, "Hayden, I want you to meet." Hayden's brain goes blank the second the name lands. He smiles, shakes the hand, says, "Great to finally meet you," buying 2 seconds that don't help at all. 30 minutes into the meeting, he still hasn't said the client's name once because saying it now, this late, would expose that he never actually had it. Driving home, replaying the whole meeting, one thought loops on repeat. Wait, what was your name again? Not because he doesn't care, because in the 1 second that mattered, his attention was on making a good impression, not on the 4 seconds of information he actually needed to keep it. This isn't Hayden being careless or bad with people. If anything, it's the opposite. He's so focused on reading the room and making the other person feel comfortable that the name becomes background noise. The same wiring that makes him genuinely good in a room is exactly what's crowding out the one detail everyone assumes should be the easy part. And there's an actual experiment built around a single word that proves this. A word that means two completely different things depending on how it's used. Psychologists Fergus Craik and Robert Lockhart's levels of processing framework explains why. Memory isn't about how hard you try, it's about how deeply information gets processed the moment you receive it. Hear a name and just register the sound, and it stays shallow, easy to lose in seconds. Connect it to something, a face, a story, a reason it matters, and it gets processed deeply enough to stick. That's why Hayden remembers the joke, not the name attached to it. The joke got processed for meaning, the name didn't. Psychologist Gillian Cohn studied this exact gap and named it the Baker-Baker paradox. Tell someone a man's job is baker, and they'll remember it easily. Bread, ovens, early mornings. It connects to a whole web of meaning already sitting in their head. Tell him his surname is Baker, and it vanishes almost instantly, because a name on its own connects to nothing. Same four letters, same sound, but one has somewhere to land and one doesn't. That's the whole gap in a single word. That's Hayden's real problem. Not carelessness, not a bad memory, just shallow encoding on a piece of information that was never given anything to connect to. The name arrived, and there was nowhere for it to land. You can't force better memory with willpower, but you can change the encoding. The next time someone says their name, say it back immediately. Good to meet you, Hayden. And in that same second, picture one physical thing about them stuck to that name. That combination, repetition plus one image, moves the name from a sound you heard to something you actually kept. If you've ever walked away from meeting someone with literally nothing to call them, that's not a flaw, and it's definitely not a bad memory. It's just how encoding works under social pressure for almost everyone. This channel breaks down patterns like this every week, the small, human stuff nobody explains properly. Subscribe if you want more of these. And if a name can slip past your attention that easily, wait until you see what happens on the other end of the spectrum. Some people process information so fast, so instinctively, that everyone around them assumes they're simply smarter. Same brain, completely different setting. That one's next. And if you've never seen it, our most watched breakdown on this channel is about people who stay completely silent in an argument and somehow still come out ahead.